Okay, guys, we're here to do a wrestling video real quick and fast. So, let's talk about the Raw reunion show tonight. What I'm hearing is the confirmed superstars are as followed: Shawn Michaels, Triple H, um, Kurt Angle. I believe Undertaker is making an appearance. Um, Several older tag teams will be at this as well, along with Michelle McCool, Candice Michelle, Maria Kanellis, um, wow, Ric Flair, and I believe also I'm hearing possibly Mick Foley might be at this show. Um, As far as matches, I don't know anything that's going to be booked match wise, so don't ask me anything about that as far as the actual running time of the show. Um, Bully Ray, Bubba Dudley will not be attending this show. He is doing Ring of Honor shows right now, and so he will not be at this, so there will be no Dudley Boys, unfortunately. Um, Update on the Jeff Hardy situation for the fans out there. Um, it sounds like he was only uh, charged with drunken disorderly conduct, so he will be paying a $300 fine, obviously, and have to go to some type of a court date at some point in time. Again, Jeff, what are you doing? I don't know what your plot here is. As far do you want out of your contract? You and Matt want to go somewhere else? I mean, why did you sign the extension? I don't get it. Whatever. Um, Ring of Honor lately, pretty decent shows, honestly. I've been catching up on that a little bit. Um, um, Fight for the Fallen AEW. So we're gonna get into that. I love that show, by the way. That was a killer show. We saw so much great competition in that pay per view. Um, I am really starting to believe in that company. They are really putting on some great shows, guys. Um, I want to talk about Chris Jericho's involvement in the company and Kenny Omega. Um, and some of the newcomers from overseas who are doing great things with the company. Um, their women's division is stocked from top to bottom with great competition. Um, I am looking very, very forward to the next AEW pay per view because it is going to be great. Um, and I feel like Adam Page is finally getting the opportunities that he deserves after all these years for his work in the wrestling industry. Um, I've been really impressed, honestly, with NXT the last 2 weeks. They've been putting on some really good shows. I like that some of the older people from many, many moons ago are getting more involved in the production. Um, and I think that Paul Heyman has been doing a pretty decent job the last 2 weeks, honestly, with Raw. Um, Bischoff was not actually at the past SmackDown the past SmackDown events because he is in the progress of moving across the country, so he's not going to be taking over SmackDown probably. Um, well, I guess either this week or next week, from what I'm hearing online here. Um, Overall, SmackDown, the past two shows that I've watched, I can't really complain. I mean, we've had some pretty decent matches. I like that the women's tag titles have finally been brought back into the fold, and they're actually competing and doing some things with those belts finally. It was just kind of pointless at some point because the women's tag division was just put on hold after WrestleMania, and I don't understand why they were doing that. Um, but I am really impressed with the tag team of Asuka and Kairi Sane. I feel like that is the future of that division. I'm sorry, it's early in the morning. Um, so I have been a little bit more impressed with the women's tag division lately. Um, the New Day is SmackDown Tag Team Champs. Either way, I guess it builds ratings. I don't know. I would honestly rather have other people have that opportunity, but whatever. Um, Shinsuke Nakamura is Intercontinental Champion. I think is actually good for SmackDown because Finn Balor has already said that he wants time off, and that's a way to kind of write him off for 2 months, basically after SummerSlam, because he wants the time off. Um, what I know about Rusev so far is he basically demanded that he needed time off, so he's not going to be on television for many, many months, basically, until they repackage him or find something for him to do. Um, Bray Wyatt returned this past Monday on Raw to actually attack Finn Balor, so it looks like we're going to have that match at SummerSlam. SummerSlam, the lineup and the card so far isn't too terrible. Um, no Undertaker, though, which I'm not quite understanding that. I don't like it, honestly. I think Undertaker should be involved in that event, but whatever. And then we get the rematch between Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar. Again, I don't understand that point. I was really hoping that Roman Reigns is going to get that opportunity, or somebody else, honestly. Maybe a Kevin Owens. Somebody. Lashley. Strowman, even. Somebody. I mean, we don't even know where Brock Lesnar's standing with the company right now. We don't know how long his deal is, when it expires, how long that he's going to be champion. Nobody really knows at this point. Um, I just want Vince McMahon to be completely out of this situation, because he has not proven to me one bit that he knows what he is doing going into the switch that's happening in October when SmackDown is going to premiere on Fox. They've also said that when that happens, SmackDown will basically get a revamp. Basically, they're going to have better lighting, better camera production, better broadcasting. They're really going to put a lot of effort into this to make it work, kind of like UFC was. And obviously, the UFC's had a lot of success, anyways, being on the Fox network before and now ESPN. I'm sorry. But I think that we're at a point now where Fox really wants to put an effort into making this work. And I don't blame them because they're buying this product. With SmackDown and Raw having bad ratings, they're trying to reamp the whole thing to get more people interested. And then they're going to be changing that whole schedule because of the World Series later on, obviously, and when football starts. So the next pay-per-view, obviously, is Smackville or something. I don't understand that. It's supposed to be some SmackDown event, live event. Like I was saying before, I don't have the network anymore, so I can't really watch any of that stuff. So I'm just gonna have to review it by just reading stuff online. Um, I actually tried to get my Roku app to work with it. No go. It will not sync to the website for some reason, which I don't understand. If anybody knows how to do that, that would be very helpful from my end. Um, but that's all that I know right now. Things that I want to take note of. I really want to know what they're going to do with this 24/7 championship thing. Yeah, I think it's getting a little old at this point. I don't really want the championship anymore. It's boring. It just takes up time. Um, if you want a 24-hour championship belt defended, make it a hardcore championship. Paul Heyman, there you go. change it into the hardcore title. People would be a little bit more interested in that. Um, I think Bischoff taking over SmackDown will be pretty good, honestly, going forward for the Fox network. He understands wrestling. He understands what the fans want. I think that that's what's best for business. I hate saying that, but whatever. Um, as a wrestling fan, I can't really complain right now. We've had some pretty good events lately, including the Evolve event, which I thought was actually pretty decent. Um, and then you have other companies too that are really doing decent things. Impact's dealing with a lot of contract issues right now with some of the superstars that they have. Um, and that's where we are right now. Impact has a few events coming up that should be kind of good. Um, but they have a lot of issues with contracts with superstars right now that are affecting their product. Um, and I know that Killer Cross has not been let out of his deal yet. Um, and we still don't know the issues with Johnny Impact, Brian Cage, and Tessa Blanchard, and a few of the other superstars who were there. LAX, obviously, they're another tag team that will be a free agents. So they might be going to AEW, which I think actually would be really good for them, because they're an established tag team. They've been together for a long time, and they could do great things with that company. I mean, think of the dream matches: them versus the Lucha Brothers, the Young Bucks, um, the Best Friends. I've seen quite a bit of talent coming up that Impact has really pushed up front here. Um, and I think Billy Corgan is doing a great job right now, also with putting Eli Drake into the main scene of the NWA Wrestling Alliance. Um, so overall, wrestling is pretty good, honestly, right now. I think that we're at a good point.